Hey guys, Katie here. It's been a while since I did tags, so I thought today I would do the classics tag. I was tagged by Sabrina at Stickachino. She is wonderful. If you haven't checked out her channel yet, you should. I will include links below. I've been trying really hard to read classics since I started BookTube. I really like to kind of mix them in with what I'm reading. I have always been a Jane Austen fan, of course. Got my fair share of classics when I was getting my English Lit degree, so here we go. Number one is an overhyped classic that you didn't really like. Growing up, and probably until a couple of years ago, I really didn't like The Great Gatsby. I kind of got tired of hearing about it. I had to read it in high school, I had to read it in college, and both times I was like, ugh. That was just how I felt about it. I just didn't like it. And I think it was just, for me personally, an issue of experience, maybe especially in high school, not having experienced enough in life to understand like the complexity of people and the complexity of society. So it's funny because I read it before the Great Gatsby movie came out, and I absolutely loved it then, and I was like, I get it now. I get it. Number two, favorite time period to read about, and that's definitely the 19th century. As I said in my last answer, that is just a time period that I tend to read a lot of and really enjoy, but that's not to say that I don't like other time periods or that I'm not interested. I just find that is the one that kind of sticks with me, and I think that's probably because that's what we're taught. You know, when I went to school, there were a ton of 19th century lit classes, and so that's what I took, and that's kind of what stuck with me. Number three, favorite fairy tale. I'm going to kind of stretch this to include myths. Like most people, I learned a lot about Greek myths growing up, so that is the mythology that I have a really solid knowledge of. I love the myths surrounding Persephone. It's really cool how she kind of, goes to the underworld and becomes the queen, and then she's really badass and stuff. And of course, I feel like this kind of correlates with the fairy tale Beauty and the Beast, which is probably why I always liked Beauty and the Beast growing up, so maybe that's why I kind of enjoy the myth that sort of inspired it, I think. Maybe? I don't know. Number four, what classic are you most embarrassed to not have read yet? I'm thinking Moby Dick, and that's because a lot of people talk about it, and it kind of sounds awesome, so I just wish I had read it, but I really haven't taken the time or made the effort really to read it. It's a really big one, so I'm not really embarrassed about it though. And just for the sake of answering this question, everybody reads what they read, and you don't have to read all the classics if you don't want to, so it doesn't really matter, but that's one that I definitely feel kind of like I should read it. I really should experience that book. Number five, what are the top 5 classics you would like to read soon? I am currently reading The Scarlet Letter with Sabrina, actually, who tagged me, and we're working on that. Hopefully we can both finish that this month. But I'd also like to read Beloved. I'm reading that after The Bluest Eye. I have A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. I am dying to read that. And as I said in another video, I don't know which will go up first, I am reading Far From the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy next week, hopefully. I got a really pretty edition of it. I read it before, it's a reread for me, but I want to read it again. The last classic I really want to read soon is To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I love her work, and I started To the Lighthouse a while ago, but I never finished it. And what I read was incredible, so I really want to finish that one. It seems like an amazing book. Number 7, favorite movie/TV series based on a classic. I'm gonna say, this is weird because this was never true until very recently, but I love the most recent Sense and Sensibility. I think that has Hattie Morahan in it and a bunch of other people, and it's really great. And I feel like it really does the book justice and sticks to the book in the right way, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be acceptable. So Sense and Sensibility is definitely my favorite adaptation. Number 8, worst classic to movie adaptation. I'm going to say Mansfield Park. I just feel like no one gets this one right. As much as I love Billie Piper, I don't love her as Fanny Price, and I mean, all I can say is I guess they both did a pretty good job with Henry Crawford. But bottom line, it's horrible. And what even were they doing with that one with Frances O'Connor? Like, what even were they doing? I watched that to the part where Fanny says she'll marry Henry Crawford, and then I turn it off, and I dream that that's how the book ends. Number 9, favorite editions you would like to collect more classics from. Definitely the Penguin English Library. I know it's like everybody loves those, but I got Far From the Madding Crowd in that edition, and I really liked it. It's really pretty, and so far, just generally, I'm impressed with it. I also have a couple of Oxford World Library editions. I like those too, but not as much. I also love Norton Critical editions, and I try to grab them when I see them because they're not often in bookstores. And I don't know, they're just, I guess there aren't that many of them. I'm not sure. I guess I should try harder, but I have a couple and I really love them. And number 10 is an underhyped classic that you would like to recommend to everyone, and I'm just going to repeat what I said last year. Howard's End by E.M. Forster was a fantastic book. I did not expect it. And that was a reread for me last year. The first time I read it, I thought it was awful, and I didn't like the movie, but now I reread the book, and now the movie is better to me, and I'm totally in love with that book. But I also like to mention Quicksand by Nella Larson. I reviewed it last week, and oh god, it's just an amazing, incredible book, and I really can't get over it. And I don't think a lot of people know about it, so hopefully you'll check that out. I'll leave a link to my review below. So that's all the questions for the classics tag. I'm not really sure who I'm going to tag. I've seen this go around, and I'm a little late in doing the tag, so I will put people up here if I decide to tag them, or down in the description box, and I will tweet it out. So yeah, what are your favorite classics? Do you have any recommendations for maybe classics off the beaten path? I would love to hear it. I will see you guys later. Bye.